Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, how do you try to win or be great without Micah Parsons?
Well, you can't be. That's his leverage. His leverage is they can't win without him. I do think this. I do think the Cowboys are going to be better than what a lot of people project. I saw something where, the pundits think that the over-under is 7.5 wins on the Cowboys. I think they're going to be much better than that. I think they got a chance.
Wow, let me be great. Damian, there's that. Were you listening? So after hearing those comments, do you agree that the Dallas Cowboys will be better than projected?
Can you tell me if Dak Prescott going to play a whole full slate of games? Because if that's the case, then yes, I do believe. Yeah, then absolutely, I do believe they'll be better than 7.5. Listen, man, we can talk about the defense, and those questions are going to be asked. But Dak Prescott, when healthy, all the man does is go out there and wins like 12 games and throws for 4,500 yards. And now he has George Pickens to go along with CeeDee Lamb. I think this offense is going to be explosive. They're going to score a lot of points. They might give up some points, but 7.5 just seems kind of low. Even though I think the Dallas Cowboys are third in the NFC East, I still think 7.5 is low for the Dallas Cowboys. I think they'll be better than that.
Yeah, I mean, you gave the biggest of caveats, big fella. Like Dak Prescott being healthy for all 17 games. Dak Prescott has missed at least 5 games in 3 of the last 5 seasons. And so I don't know how you can rely on that. And then also you have to bake into the fact that their backup situation at quarterback is sketchy to say the least, right? Like we saw Cooper Rush a couple of years ago step in and save the day, going 4-1 over a 5-game stretch when Dak was out of the lineup. Have you seen Joe Milton play this preseason? Yeah, it's not great. So I don't have any confidence in the Dallas Cowboys being able to keep Dak Prescott in the lineup. You see what's going on with their offensive line. They got to replace Zach Martin. Their starting left tackle has missed the majority of training camp due to injury. So I just can't bet on the Dallas Cowboys to achieve anything of consequence. So, yeah, when it comes to the over-under on a win total, I'm absolutely going to the under. I have to believe it before I see it with these Dallas Cowboys.
Which means you'll never believe it because you'll never see it. That's really what it comes down to. So let's get that out the way, okay? I mean, that's really what it's about because, we're talking about the postseason. We're not talking about the regular season. Of course, we're going to sit up there and give Dak Prescott his props because he wins more than he loses during the regular season. It's when the lights get brightest, when you're one and done, that Dak Prescott shrinks beneath the spotlight. We all know what time it is, okay? So let's just call it what it is. And by the way, when we talk about the Dallas Cowboys, let's not act like we're treating them as a team bereft of talent. Dak Prescott missed 9 games last year. They won 7. Of course, he's good for 3 or 4 more wins. I could see them having a 10 or 11 win season. I'm not trying to act like they're going to fall off the cliff. Not with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens out there for him to throw the football to, not to mention Ferguson. We get that. We understand what Dak Prescott can bring to the table. There's no longer Rico Dowdle running the football for you because, my Lord, they couldn't afford to pay the dude 1 year $6 million. So they had to go there and get Javonte Williams for 1 year $3 million. We understand. What they really saved there, right? Okay, they really did something well there. In the end, what it comes down to is this. Just an interesting stat to throw out to y'all. Most first-team All-Pro players since 1996. The Baltimore Ravens, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 5 conference title games. The Chiefs the Ravens had 27 All-Pros. The Chiefs had 24 All-Pros, 5 Super Bowl appearances, 3 Super Bowl titles, 7 conference title games. And number 3rd on the list is the Dallas Cowboys, tied with the New England Patriots. 23 first-team All-Pros on their squad since 1996. Patriots, 10 Super Bowl appearances, 6 titles, 14 conference title games. The Dallas Cowboys, 0 Super Bowl appearances, 0 conference title games. You see, the point of all of this is we can look at it this time of the year and say, hey, they got a chance. They got a chance. They really got a chance. Right? Because they bring you a roster. But when it really, really counts, they're not there. It's that simple. That's all I got to say.
All right, you know who's always right on time? That would be Adam Schefter. Not just breaking news regarding Daniel Jones starting for the Colts. Also earlier, he was with you, Chris, on Unsportsmanlike with some very sobering comments regarding the Micah Parsons situation in Dallas. Adam, educate us.
Today, I feel comfortable saying I don't think he'll finish his career in Dallas. Today, I feel comfortable saying that. Now, I reserve the right to change my mind. All of a sudden, the Cowboys step up and negotiate. But the way things have gone this offseason, the way people are talking, the way things sound, yeah, I would think that there is a real possibility that if he plays this season, that this potentially could be the last year for Micah in Dallas. Yes.
Wow, that is major. Stephen A., everybody has a threshold for disrespect, and we just heard Adam Schefter that he doesn't think he'll finish his career in Dallas. Your reaction to that?
I agree with him. Listen, Jerry could change his mind, get him signed, and obviously he can franchise him or what have you, but I think that Jerry is looking at the money he's already doled out on Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, a couple of other players. You're spending over damn near $200 million on 3 players, and Micah Parsons will be a 4th. You can't conduct business in the NFL that way. You still got to fill out a roster. And I think that right now he is contemplating looking at Micah Parsons and seeing what value you can get in return for his services. You might be able to pick up a couple of first-round picks. You might be able to pick up a couple of players. I mean, this could be a mega deal if you're Jerry Jones, and you're probably looking at it that way. Plus, he seems a bit salty towards Micah Parsons. Again, I have no problem with any kind of that thinking. My issue with Jerry Jones, which I will say to him whenever it is that I see him, is that how dare you not talk to his agent? You know, the kid is 25 years old at the time that you're having these conversations. He turned 26 in May, if I remember correctly. Okay? You know, stop acting like talking with him is a negotiation. It's not. That is incredibly and completely unfair. Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys franchise is worth $12.8 billion, according to Forbes. They have elevated by $9.4 billion since last winning a Super Bowl on January 28, 1996. They are the most prestigious franchise, arguably, in all of sports. And Jerry Jones is at the head of all of it as a marketing and business genius. Why are you acting like you're playing fair when you were negotiating with a 26-year-old football player about his on-field performance and what that level of compensation should look like? That is incredibly unfair. I think the NFL Players Association needs to get involved. I think the NFL needs to get involved because I think that's flagrant taking advantage, that's flagrant abuse of a player. You can't do that. He has a representative. His name is David Mulugeta. That brother is considered one of the best agents in the world. And you haven't been on the phone with him? That is inexcusable. There is no defense for that. And that is what this issue is. And that's why I think that Micah Parsons could end up being gone because of the stance that Jerry Jones has taken. And at this point, I don't think Micah Parsons would even mind. He wants to go where he wants to go. But I don't think that he's fixated on remaining in Dallas. After all, he did ask to be traded. And I think he means it.
Woody?
Yeah, listen, when I heard that from Schefter, I was shocked, man, because the one thing about the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones, he always pays his stars, whether you talk about Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, you know, the list goes on. And here's what I will say about Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons doesn't come across as like this corporate guy, as opposed to some of these other guys that have been signed by Jerry Jones and such. Michael Parsons has his own voice, his own personality. And I think that's a part of the problem here. Yes, Stephen A., you talked about, how Jerry Jones goes about his business, and that is a big problem. But I also will say that Michael Parsons goes by the beat of his own drum. And I don't think Jerry Jones really likes that all that much. And so now you got 2 big personalities with the Dallas Cowboys. They can't come to a resolution. And here we are sitting here a couple weeks before the season, and you can't come to an agreement on one of the best players, not one of the best defensive players, but one of the best players that we have in the National Football League, who's only 25, 26 years old in his prime, that's been clean off the field. It just baffles me that the Dallas Cowboys have found themselves in this situation right now.
Yeah, big fella. The most shocking part about everything that Schefter shared with us this morning was that the two sides aren't talking, and they're kicking off the season 2 weeks and 2 days from now. They're not even talking. Both sides in this negotiation feel aggrieved. And usually when you have these types of dynamics with a holdout, it's the player being frustrated with the team because he's not going to get paid what he wants or when he wants it, the structure, the guarantees, so on and so forth. But you typically don't see ownership feel like they're aggrieved when you have these types of holdouts. But that's the position that Jerry Jones is in right now. That's the posture that he's taken. And, of course, he's kind of clued us into it with all of the veiled shots that he's been hurling toward Micah Parsons. The thing that stands out the most to me was Shefty saying that this negotiation with Micah Parsons is not the same as what we've seen from Cowboy stars in the past. With CeeDee Lamb or Dak Prescott last year, if you want to go back a couple of years ago with Trayvon Diggs, he says the tone of this negotiation is completely different from them. And he believed that the two sides were heading toward a divorce. Whether it happens now or after the season, that he believes that that's the direction that this negotiation is going.
Stephen A., are you shocked that we've gotten here with such a special talent like Micah Parsons?
It's not the word shock is not the word that comes to my mind, Molly, is disappointment. I know that I troll, the Cowboys, and I have a boatload of fun doing so because their fan base, I affectionately speaking, I love to troll them. I love seeing them crying and miserable over their team losing. It's not even about the Cowboys. It's about that damn fan base. We're going to win the Super Bowl next year, right? Even when they go 3-13 and stuff like that, they get on my damn nerves. But it's all in fun. It's all in fun. This is serious. I'm not joking about this because I'm really, really disappointed. Normally I'm laughing about that video because I love seeing it, right? But for the purposes of this discussion, it's not even funny to me right now because I'm looking at it and I'm saying you have this young black man who is a superstar caliber defensive player in the National Football League. Troy Aikman, our preeminent voice on Monday Night Football, because he is that dude who won 3 Super Bowls with the Dallas Cowboys, said the leverage that Micah Parsons had is that you can't win without him. Because this man is a game wrecker. He is sensational, and he deserves every penny that he eventually will get paid. Those words are out of the mouth of Troy Aikman. Michael Irvin, another 3-time Super Bowl champion, the playmaker, stood next to Jerry Jones on the blue carpet for the revealing of their Netflix show. And what did he say? You got to pay Micah Parsons. These are people that have played for Jerry, that have won Super Bowls for Jerry, that's in his face saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? Pay this man. My point is, whether you pay him or don't pay him, you have any idea how disrespectful it is not to refuse to speak to someone's representation. David Mulugeta is still waiting for a call from Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. How is that possible? How could you be that dismissive of a guy who's produced for you, who loves wearing the star, who loves playing at the star, who's been a star for the star? How do you do that? How do you do that with a straight face? I mean, those are questions. And then it's personal with me from the standpoint that I have a relationship with Jerry. I actually have a lot of love for Jerry Jones because I know a lot of great, great things he's done for a lot of brothers. And I have a special affection for this man. I truly do. I'm not joking. I'm just going to put it on Front Street. But to see him do this is really, really disappointing. And it's very, very alarming.
Stephen,
and I can't wait eventually to talk to Jerry Jones because I'm going to ask him about it. I want to hear from his mouth. I don't understand it.
Okay, there, you just answered my question. I was curious if you reached out to him. All right, we got to leave it there. And now
yes,
the question will be, who needs to go after Micah the most, right?
No
Let
doubt.
the sweepstakes begin. Coming up, what version of Patrick Mahomes